Was that a Pinocchio?
1-1, sky to right. Deep and gone!
Sanchez, pitch went deep to left field, going back, Gurriel looking up, see ya! A two-run home run for Sanchez, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Between the Lines. I am your host, Tanner Kern, and this show is dedicated to all things baseball. First of all, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me tonight. We don't have a huge slate of games. I believe there's only 9 on the schedule, so no better time for an episode of Between the Lines. Put me on your computer, put the games on the TV, and let's rock and roll. So before we get into the show, I just want to remind you guys, subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network on YouTube. We have a ton of great content going up there every day, and we also have a new daily show with Ryan Newpel, the USA Wager Show, where he discusses all these updates in the sports betting industry, legal updates. So you guys are going to want to hear that, especially if you don't have sports betting in your state, because sports betting is starting to sweep the nation, and he is breaking it down every day for you guys on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to that. Now, when I was thinking about what I wanted to open the show with tonight, there were a few headlines. I could talk about Mike Trout going 1 for 19 in his past 19 at-bats with 8 punch-outs. Yes, the best player in baseball. I could talk about Shohei Ohtani's home run to beat the Red Sox on Sunday. I could talk about so many things to start this show, but there's one thing that stood above the rest for me, and that is the details on Braves right-handed pitcher Huascar Ynoa knocking out the frustration. Now, if you know anything about Braves right-handed pitcher Huascar Ynoa, you know that he had a rough day on Sunday. He went 4.2 innings, got punched out of the game by his manager. I'm using punched as a simile here, a comparison, because after the game, Ynoa punched the dugout wall, and broke his right hand. Here's a picture of Ynoa literally knocking out the frustration. It's embarrassing, first of all. It's flat out embarrassing. A 22-year-old, I mean, he is young. I'm going to take that into consideration, but he is the Braves' best pitcher. Everything is going wrong for them at this point in time, which is embarrassing to see. They're too good of a team to be losing like they are. Freddie Freeman's not hitting the ball. This was their best pitcher. He had a 3.02 ERA. He was 4-2 on the season. Now they're not going to have him for 2 months. Now with Corey Seager broke his hand for the Dodgers. That's a legit reason to break your hand. Corey Seager is a legit reason to break your hand. He was hit by a pitch. Okay, that's one thing. But a guy punching a wall, punching the dugout is unacceptable. He's a young guy. He's probably trying to show the veterans that he cared, that he gives a shit about this game. It gives a shit about what he's doing on the mound. But it's embarrassing because this is a guy that they need in their rotation right now. They're not pitching well. They don't have a good relief system. They're not hitting well. The Braves are just so inconsistent right now, and they need Ynoa to step his game up and not punch a wall and not remove himself for 2 months for no reason at all. I mean, he was pitching great, and yesterday was just a bad example. He didn't pitch well, but overall, his whole resume this season has been pretty good. So it's disappointing to see him knocking out the frustration. Now, as you guys know, we usually go to the standings updates, but we're going to change it up a little bit because we are officially a quarter of the way through the season. Now, I'm pumped about this, and I'm sad. It's sad to see that a quarter of the season is already gone, because before you know it, we'll be done with this year. But it's also exciting because we know what teams are good, what teams are bad. So what's the point of talking about the Pirates? I mean, the Pirates are a pesky team. We're not going to do the standings thing. We're going to go with the MLB power rankings. So let me get the full power rankings up here right now for you guys. And we're going to check these out. We're going to break down the first 5 teams in the power rankings, but we'll talk about the top 10 a little bit. So here is the latest power rankings from MLB.com. MLB power rankings, we got the White Sox at 1, the Red Sox at 2, the Dodgers at 3, the Astros at 4, and the Padres at 5. I pretty much agree with all these power rankings. I'm not going to lie about that. The Astros, or the Padres, I could maybe see them up a little higher this week. They had a really good week, and they didn't have some of their big dudes in the lineup like Eric Hosmer and Fernando Tatis Jr. The COVID DL or COVID IL really hit them hard. There's a lot of guys on that list. They have a ton of injuries, and that's the theme around the league right now. The Dodgers have a ton of injuries as well. So the Padres, could maybe bump them up a little bit. I would probably put them above the Dodgers right now just because of how they're playing. But overall, LA's talent's much better. But one thing I am a little disappointed about right now, I think the Yankees should be higher. I really do. I think the Yankees are a top 5 worthy team, and I would put them above the Red Sox in my power rankings because the Red Sox do not have a pitcher that can hit the baseball, or do not have a pitcher that is legit. Who's their ace right now? I mean, Chris Sale is their ace, but he's coming off Tommy John surgery. When is he going to be back? We don't know when Chris Sale is going to be back, which is disappointing to see. They said they expect him to be back in the summer. He's starting to pitch off the mound, but they can't rely on him for quality innings this year. I mean, maybe he gets something out of him in September, but the Yankees have an ace in Garrett Cole. They have a guy that has put together a consistent body of work that they know can get the job done. That's why I can see the Yankees in the top 5 and eventually overtake the Red Sox. But when we talk about the Red Sox, they're a team that has done the right thing for so many weeks. It's hard to not put them in the top. It's hard not have them number 2. They were number 1 last week, but I think the White Sox do deserve to get up there, get the number 1 spot. The Giants are in the top 10 because of their quality of work this year. I mean, they're tied for the most wins in the National League right now. But I don't think they'll be there. The Cardinals probably would have been higher if they didn't get swept this past weekend. The A's are a good team. The A's and the Astros are in line to win the American League West. Forget about the Angels and the Blue Jays. They're just so young. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a statement this year in the postseason, but we will see. If the season ended right now, they would be in the wild card game. So let's really break down the top 5 teams real quick, and then we'll get into some news around the league. So we'll start with the White Sox. The White Sox plus 61 run differential and the best record in baseball. They've just done everything right. If you look at all the important offensive categories, they are leading them. They're leading in runs, slugging percentage. They're doing it all right now. Or actually, they're second to the Red Sox in runs, but they're near or in first place in all the important offensive categories, which is great to see. Dylan Cease has a 1.67 ERA, but Giolito continues to struggle. That's been the most disappointing part about the White Sox this year. They need to have Giolito step up. He's the ace on that staff, or the alleged ace on that staff. Dylan Cease has kind of taken over that role. But if Giolito starts pitching well, this is their division to lose. Minnesota, I think you're going to see Minnesota get a little better by the end of the season. They are struggling right now. One of the worst teams in baseball. One of the worst teams to bet in baseball, too, from bettors out there. But the Minnesota Twins, I think, will get back in the hunt. Hopefully they can gain a little steam in the second quarter of the season, and I think the second half will be theirs. But the White Sox, they are just doing everything right now. Pitching, hitting, defense, everything is going their way. The Red Sox, they lead the MLB in runs with 212 right now. Again, they're in the top 5 because of just their body of work. They've been doing everything right throughout the season, and that's why they are in the top 5. The Red Sox are a pretty good team. They don't have that guy on the mound, like I was saying before, that is the clear-cut ace. I mean, I would say it's Nathan Eovaldi right now, but is he worthy of being an ace on most major teams' franchise? Probably not. He's probably a 2 or a 3, but he's been very good so far this season. They got a lot of young guys. They got a lot of young guys that haven't started to hit the ball yet. But this team is led by J.D. Martinez, no doubt. It's J.D. Martinez's team, followed by Rafael Devers, Alex Verdugo. Those are the big 3 that have really propelled the Red Sox offensively. The Red Sox have shown some weaknesses, though. A lot of people are very high on them. I'm not as high on them because the Yankees are coming. I know they're 7th on the power rankings, but they are coming. So make sure you watch out for the New York Yankees. The Dodgers have not been playing well. They're 3rd. No surprise there. Dodgers have been disappointing. What we've all seen from the Dodgers. I got my Dodgers gear on because they need a little support right now. Corey Seager broke his right hand at the plate. I forget who it was against, but he got hit with a pitch. Broken right hand, does not need surgery. Luckily, he broke the muscle or the bone right between his hand and his pinky. So it wasn't major, but he is probably going to be out a month to a month and a half, upwards of possibly 8 weeks, depending on how he recovers. Dodgers posted a photo of him with his cast on. It made me a little sad because I do love Corey Seager. He's going to be one of the hottest shortstops in the free agent market this season. He's going to be a target for the New York Yankees, I believe, and they'll probably send Gleyber Torres on the road. They'll bump him out, or they'll move him over to second base. So I'm disappointed in the Dodgers. That's basically the bottom line there. They have won 4 of their past 5, which is important to know. They've been very good in their past 5 games. They did lose to the Marlins the other night, which didn't really surprise me because the Corey Seager blow. The Corey Seager was out on Saturday, and I think that carried over into their game on Sunday. But the one thing you guys got to know really about the Dodgers is Trevor Bauer. He has been fantastic, leading the league in strikeouts with 77. Bauer's an analytical guy. If you don't watch his vlogs on YouTube, go over to YouTube and please watch his vlogs, because he doesn't just talk about or show you guys what major league life is like on the road. He also breaks down his pitch selection, why he's throwing what pitches, how to throw the pitches that he throws, and how to really get in the minds of batters. He's a technician on the mound, and that's why he has been able to be so successful. He's turning into the ace there. I used to say Walker Buehler is going to be the next Clayton Kershaw in Los Angeles. And I'm not saying Trevor Bauer is going to be the next Clayton Kershaw, because Clayton Kershaw has been there his whole career, and he has been phenomenally, tailing off a little bit this season, a little inconsistent, as we have seen. But the thing about Trevor Bauer is he's going to be that next guy to get the ball on opening day. It's not going to be Walker Buehler as long as Bauer is in that clubhouse. So then following that, we got the Astros with 6 straight wins. Astros have been pretty good so far. Yuli Gurriel has been the star in the past 6 games. He's 322 with 7 home runs this season. Another guy to look out for, Kyle Tucker, has also been very good. This Astros lineup is deadly right now. They're pitching well. Pitching could be their Achilles heel this year, I think, because I think their offense is just going to be phenomenal the rest of the season. They're going to hit, they'll hit the inevitable period of lows, but pitching is what they really need to focus on getting into the late parts of the season. But they have been doing pretty well right now. I mean, the AL West is theirs to lose. They got the A's in that division, but I do think the Astros are still a little above the A's because of their offensive firepower. And then the Padres have won 6 of their past 7, which has been phenomenal. This is thanks in part to Manny Machado, scoring 9 runs in his past 11 games. Machado has been fantastic. He has really picked up the void that was left with Eric Hosmer and Fernando Tatis Jr., who are on the COVID-19 injured list right now. That's been tough for the Padres, but they've overcome it. I mean, winning 6 of your past 7 without those 2 dudes in the lineup is pretty impeccable. Now with the Padres, I do think I saw an article today actually, and I was reading this. I think Fernando Tatis Jr. could be the next designated hitter in San Diego. When the MLB, puts the universal DH in, Fernando Tatis is not a great fielding shortstop, but he is a phenomenal hitter. I think he's the next DH in San Diego. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I read this article. I forget where it was on. I think it was on Fansided. I forget who wrote it, but very good take by whoever that was. I do think Fernando Tatis Jr. could be the next DH because of his offensive power, but lack of fielding ability. So let's get into regular news around the league, guys. We'll probably keep doing the power rankings for a while because, again, what's the point of talking about the Pirates, or what's the point of talking about, the Detroit Tigers or something like that? There's no point to doing that. They're not very good. So let's get into the umpire problems in the Major League Baseball. This has been the biggest problem as of late in baseball. Last night, or on Sunday, we had another example of it in the Kansas City Royals game. The Kansas City Royals were playing the Chicago White Sox. Cam Gallagher tagged out Jose Abreu at home plate, but did he really tag him out? Yes, he did. That's the answer. But the umpires did not agree. The call on the field was safe. But when we went to the video review, there were 2 angles that revealed that he was clearly out. And the New York team, the umpires in New York, did not agree with it. They called him safe. They ruled the call on the field was safe, and they screwed the Kansas City Royals out of a win because it was a walk-off. Kansas City's manager, Mike Bandini, said, I don't know what they're doing. If they're backing each other up, whatever it is, it's wrong. And it's truly wrong. The umpires need to step their game up. Here's the clip. Let's really get into it. Here's it in full speed. So as you can see here, pitch is thrown, pass ball coming in at the plate. Now right there, I mean, obviously, umpires, it's a tough job. It's one of the toughest jobs in baseball. That's a split-second call. Calls them safe on the field. And no problem with that, because on the field, it's tough to make that call. But then we get into the slow motion here. Now, this camera angle is a little tougher to see it, but he gets his jersey on the backside before he's able to touch home. Gallagher, phenomenal play, first of all, out of Gallagher, no matter if he would have been safe or out, just effort play. But as you can see right here, gets the back of his jersey before he touches home. Clearly gets the back of his jersey. And the rule is in Major League Baseball that it needs to be undisputable. It needs to be, pure evidence that the call was wrong on the field. And I guess there's ways to argue that if you're an umpire, but the main problem has been umpires are trying to back up their umpire friends. Now, the team in New York, it's like the NFL, the umpires or the referees in football call New York. There's an umpire there. reviewing the call, and they rule it either they agree or they don't agree. But they're the ones who do this. Now, umpire is like a fraternity. It's a board of brothers and sisters. There are some female umpires getting into the mix, but they back up their buddies, because when they make a wrong, when the umpires in New York dispute the umpires on the field, it makes the umpires on the field look wrong, and they don't want to do that. So this is a problem. Now, I first realized this was a problem back in April in a Sunday night baseball game between the Phillies and the Braves in this clip right here. So as you can see, Didi Gregorius hits a shot to right to left field, catch. Alec Boehm sliding into home plate. All right. They call Alec Boehm safe. Alec Boehm never touched the plate, though. That's the problem with this call. He never touched the plate. And this is when I realized umping had an issue, because if you have video replay, there's no doubt. With video replay, there is never any doubt whatsoever. You know if the call is right or wrong. You look at the camera angle, he either touched home plate or he didn't. It's as simple as that. But these umps are trying to turn it into, oh, let me look at this camera angle. Let me look at this camera angle. Let me look at this camera angle. Where can I find the smallest evidence in the clip that can support my buddy on the field making the call? And that's embarrassing. I think they need changes in the replay room. And the way baseball is going, we're going towards robotic umpires, which is disappointing. I don't want to see that happen. But the way it's going, that's what's going to happen, because fans are complaining about this. Fans want to see them get the call right. And if you have replay, there is no reason that they shouldn't get the call right. So that's my rant of the night. Let me know what you guys think in the comments here. I got a quote from Dan Bradley. Abreu was safe. Totally and respectfully disagree with you here. You can't tell from that second angle. You should. Well, Dan, I don't know about that. The second angle, pretty clear that he was tagged out, and I guarantee Mike Matheny would not be very happy with that comment out of you. He got screwed out of a win. And this is the biggest problem with Kansas City right now. The biggest problem with Kansas City in them blowing that call. Kansas City doesn't get the win, but they're not just screwing Kansas City. They're screwing the Minnesota Twins. And I know Dan Bradley loves the Minnesota Twins in the American League Central. If the Twins ever get it together, that win for the White Sox could help them in the standings. It could help them in the standings. That could be the one win that they need to jump above the Minnesota Twins if they get hot late in the season, or the Cleveland Indians. So it's just very, very disappointing to see. He was out at the plate. Wrong call by the umpires, but I appreciate the comments from Dan Bradley there. Guys, make sure to go check out Dan Bradley's NHL Power Rankings if you are an NHL fan. Power Rankings previews everything to do with the NHL on Noob Sports. He's been breaking down every single playoff game so far for the NHL. He's got another comment coming in here. Mike Matheny can kick rocks. Abreu is safe, and you're exactly right. I'm a Twins fan. Still think safe, right call. Appreciate you, Dan. Thanks for the comments, man. Okay, so let's get into the next topic. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., three homers in three homers in 3 straight games. Let's check out this clip. This was from Sunday's game. Now, I took the under on Vladdy Guerrero Jr.'s home run total this year, and I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be wrong, because he is absolutely mashing the ball. He doesn't have a very high launch angle if you look at his stats, but just absolutely mauling the ball. Now, it'll be interesting to see if he can keep this trend up when the Blue Jays move to Buffalo and then eventually get back in the Rogers Center in Toronto. Now, I imagine Buffalo is going to be a similar landscape to this field. I mean, they are playing in a spring training home, so the proportions of the field are not exact. They're very easy to hit out of in Dunedin, Florida, or Tampa, wherever it is. So Vladdy might, this home run trend might slow down with him, but he has been absolutely mashing the ball. It's great to see for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been very, very good. Their problem is they're just so inconsistent. Some days they show up, other days they don't. I do think they're going to be very good down the road, but they're just not there yet. The Yankees are a step above them. I think they could finish second above the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox might get a little cold towards the end of the season when the Blue Jays start to heat up. But that young trio in Toronto is fantastic. And speaking of young stars in this game, I don't know if you know this name, but Jared Kelenic. Actually, I said that wrong. I heard how to pronounce his name. It's Kelenic. The middle E is silent in Kelnic's name, but he has arrived in the show. He collected 3 extra base hits on Friday, which included a home run. He was just fantastic. The whole weekend didn't really go his way. It was a 4-game series where he debuted Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He only collected 3 hits. The only 3 hits came on Saturday, which was not great. He's batting 197, 167, in that range, whatever it is. It's below the Mendoza line, but he will heat up. Just his swing is fantastic. I'm going to show you guys a clip here of his first big league home run. Just look at the torque he gets out of the swing. Boom. And that's a wall scraper home run too, but keep in mind, that's about a 390-foot shot. The family loves it. Everyone in the park loves it. Jared Kelenic is making the Mariners fun again. I mean, the Mariners look like a different team all weekend. I know they didn't win yesterday, but the Mariners looked like a different team all weekend thanks to Jared Kelenic. He brought excitement. He's not afraid of anyone. That's what the best part about him is. I mean, the Mariners batted him leadoff in his first game. Batted leadoff in his first game. His first swing takes a hack, foul ball down the line. It was caught, but he was not afraid at all. He was ready for the show, ready for the spotlight, and that's what you love to see out of young stars in this game, like Jared Kelenic. And then finally, guys, we got one more clip for you. Shohei Ohtani, he's the theme of the episode. Shohei Ohtani is good at baseball, if you didn't already know that. He is fantastic. Hits a game-winning home run on Sunday in Boston. Now we can talk about Mike Trout a little bit. Mike Trout, 1 for 19 in his past 19 at-bats, 8 strikeouts. But Mike Trout did come through on Sunday against the Red Sox. So the Angels were down to their final out on Sunday. Mike Trout gets a little bloop single, allows Shohei Ohtani, the new bringer of rain. Josh Donaldson is no longer the bringer of rain. I'm going to call Shohei Ohtani the new bringer of rain. He absolutely demoralizes a baseball to right field, wraps it around the pesky pole, and the Angels get the win over the Red Sox. He is leading the league in homers with 12 right now. So let's take a look at Shohei Ohtani's swing from Sunday. Mike Trout on first base. The pitch, the swing, look at that shot. Now, just absolute launch angle on that baseball. I mean, that was fantastic. An absolute bomb from Shohei Ohtani, gets it out, and the Angels win. Now, the Angels don't have a chance to do anything this year. I'm not going to say that they're going to win anything in the American League West because they do not have enough starting pitching. Shohei Ohtani, they need to figure out how to use Ohtani more efficiently, but the guy is good at baseball. He had an amazing week at the plate. He's pitching better right now. So the MLB should be on notice because Shohei Ohtani has arrived and he is coming for everyone that is in his path. So that does it, guys, for tonight's episode. Make sure to connect with me on social media at Tanner Kern, at Tanner Kern _ on Twitter, and then at Sports 2.0 Network on Twitter and Instagram, as you see there at Sports 20 Network, because that's because Twitter and Instagram don't let you put periods in your handles. What are you going to do? Also, guys, so if you noticed, tonight's episode was a little shorter. We did not have a 3 up, 3 down segment with Eric Neff. We're going to be changing this up a little bit. So on Mondays, we're going to do more of a news show with me. We're just going to be talking about the latest headlines, some of the clips I like from the week. And then on Thursdays, I believe it's going to be, we still have to hammer out some details. It's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday. But we're going to be doing a mid-afternoon show where we do his 3 up, 3 down segment and really dive deeper into that because it's gotten a little cut off between this and the news when we do it on Monday nights. So we're going to be doing that as a separate episode with Eric Neff. So if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to tune in there. See, we got one more comment. Should Ohtani win the American League MVP? See, I'm torn by this because I don't think he should win the American League MVP because I don't think the stats are there. I know he's leading the league in home runs, but also he's doing something no one else can do. He's pitching, he's hitting, he's been fantastic. Mike Trout heats up. I would say Mike Trout's still probably the front runner for the MVP. There's a lot of good pitchers, a lot of good players. It's tough to tell right now. I mean, if Ohtani continues to deliver at the plate with the power and he can go deep into games on the mound. I mean, some games just has not been great. He's only gone 4 or 5 innings. Some cases, I want to see him go consistently, go 6 to 7. That's MVP caliber for me right there. But just because he can pitch and hit, I'm not going to call him the MVP right away. But the power and the 100-mile-an-hour fastballs off the mound and the power at the plate has been phenomenal. So it would not surprise me if he wins MVP, but he really needs to keep it going in the last 3 quarters of the season. So appreciate that, Dan. So yeah, connect with me on social media at Tanner Kern, at Sports 20 Network, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning for MLB Daily Picks. We are doing pretty well. We're like 50-something games over 500 right now, so we are rocking and rolling. So that does it, guys. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Was that a Pinocchio?
1-1, sky to right.